Hello, and welcome to another episode of Self Improvement for Women. I am your host, Hope Long. Today, I have a very special guest. Her name is Erica Fields. She's a successful real estate agent coach, and she also is the CEO of Purple Elephant. So I am so excited you're here, Erica. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Hobie. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, just getting to talk with you again. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and we had such a good conversation the last time we spoke. Not only just getting to know each other, but we kind of got down into the nitty gritty of like real estate and like developing a business and all these things that go in. And I know real estate is one of those things. I think sometimes women look at it and they're like, oh, that's a really big, scary jump. That's a really big endeavor, a big industry. So I kind of want you to like dive in a little bit on like how you got into this industry and how it has changed for you during this time as well.
Yes, absolutely. So before real estate, I was in car sales. I absolutely loved that kind of environment of being able to help people and still be able to kind of apply psychology, understanding how people's brain works and understanding that there's a solution they want. How do you help them make this decision to take home the solution, right? So I had a great time in car sales. My fiance at the time was in real estate, and it seemed like the natural progression, right? From cars to houses. And a lot of compliments that I got was how people felt comfortable making going through a stressful transaction with me. And I figured, let me help people do the same thing with houses. And so that's how I got started in real estate. Absolutely loved it. And I noticed that there was a huge gap in training. You get into real estate, and anybody watching this that's in real estate right now can probably relate to the feeling of, but what do I do now? You're told you're going to get all this guidance, but what do I do now? So that's kind of where I got my foothold. Um, and then I'm sorry, yeah.
No, you're fine. So yeah, when you jump into an industry like that, and I can attest to this because I did car sales for a very short time. But when you're selling a car, that is their second biggest purchase of their lifetime, right?
Yep.
The first biggest purchase is their home. And that
Mm-hmm.
is really scary. It's really overwhelming sometimes. There's a lot of information, there's a lot to take in. There's all these minute details that people tend to worry about. And then it becomes this big beast of an issue. And so
Right.
finding somebody that can walk you through this stuff, they're holding your hand through the whole thing, is so nice. And it's so hard to find sometimes good people that
Mm-hmm.
they care about the end result more than they care about that dollar sign.
Right.
And your happiness is so important when you're buying a home and buying a car, those kinds of things. So people that put that first, those are the people, right? Those are your people. And that's why you got into this industry, is
Mm-hmm.
you saw the need for that attention to detail and like to make it effortless for people to just go about their lives while also having this wonderful new home that Erica was taking
Exactly.
care of for them, right? um so how has for me, when I think of real estate, I think of people jumping in their cars, driving to a location, showing this house, and then signing a bunch of paperwork, right? In the online space, it may be a little bit different, right? So does it look
Mm-hmm.
any different for you? Like, how has it changed over the last few years?
Well, the industry itself definitely has changed over the last couple of years. I mean, obviously, our inventory issue, you probably hear about that on the news all the time, their extreme housing shortage. And on top of that, in order to build a new house, the materials have skyrocketed, right? So, hey, there's no home. I used to be able to go and build one. Now it's taking a lot more financial means in order to accomplish that. So that has changed in the industry, as well as, since there is a very limited number of inventory, we have a lot of real estate agents that are trying to buy one house, right? We all have the same client trying to buy one house. Or if you're on the listing side, right, and this is where I try to push people to go more towards the listing side, is you have the inventory, you have what people want, and everybody else can come to you, right?
Right.
So that's changed. Now, the other side of that is how do you get attention in this crazy market, right? There's so little inventory. You have some cities have more than double the amount of realtors than they have houses available, right? So how do you stand out and how do you actually attract business to you? And that's things that have changed in the industry is how you are attracting business to yourself and really the inventory and your strategy.
Yeah. And we talked about, strategy, because now you're in this space where, you did a lot of like the training to become a realtor, learning how to sell, da 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 da, da, all that stuff. And then what you found was it was like a calling of yours to train other people to do the same thing. And so now you're in this coaching field. And with this coaching field, you're doing these trainings, you actually came up with a blueprint. So I kind of want to touch on this because this is a really, it's not just applicable, yes, to real estate. You can use this for your own small businesses. You can use
Yep.
this for your own coaching services, for your own online business, whatever it may be. You can, it's so valuable. There's bits and pieces to take and apply to you in your business, right? So let's
Yes.
jump into this. What is the official name of the blueprint again?
It's the exponential profits blueprint.
Yes,
Yes. So we're all about exponential profits.
that's what we want. We
All
want
right. So
up that ladder, right?
yeah, absolutely. Right. And we don't want to just be surviving. We want to be thriving because that's how we can truly help others is if our cup is totally full. Right.
Yes.
So I appreciate you letting me talk about this a little bit. And I'm really excited to share this with anybody that's looking to hop into business. But the exponential profits blueprint is essentially a methodology that contains three different layers. Okay. So the first layer is your 360 clarity. That is making sure you know exactly where you want to go, right? It's pulling up the Google Maps saying, where is the destination? All right. We're not going to leave without knowing where we want to go. The second aspect of that, I like to call it C3, but it's client centered conversion. So this is sales. And a lot of people get worried about sales and feeling like they're a pushy salesperson. But at the same time, if you have a gift to share with the world, share it, right? If you can help somebody save time, save money, have a great experience, why would you hold that back, right? So I found client centered conversion instead of focusing on us. What do I say? What do I do? Who's that person in front of you? What is their goal, right? It takes away a lot of the nerves when you stop focusing on yourself and you start focusing on that other person. And it helps you. We do more psychology than the old school sales techniques. So you learn about people and you learn about yourself at the same time. So client-centered conversion is huge, especially for anybody in business or an entrepreneur. They think, oh, I'm not going to have to sell. I don't need to sell, but that is the fuel of your business, right? So our last layer then is the business aspect of it. It's the exponential profits business plan. This is where you actually grow your business, move forward each month. So there's a difference between working on your business and in your business. Have you ever heard that?
Yes.
And this is the on the business, right? Your admin meetings, your delegating, your automating processes, your systems, reviewing, all of that goes into the actual business program. And that's why my clients literally move their businesses forward each and every single week. They don't have stagnant businesses. They're always moving forward. They always have a game plan and it's in their calendars.
Yes. Yeah. And like, so let's circle back to this 360 vision, because there are people sitting at home and they're like, okay, I don't know what I want. I know I want something that I don't have right now, but I can't
Yes.
pinpoint it. So how can we get that clarity? How can we get that vision?
It's such a good question because it can be so overwhelming thinking, well, I don't even know, what I'm going to eat tomorrow. How do I know what I want in the next 50 years,
Yeah, we're sitting here sometimes and we're like racking our brains. We're like, okay, what am I good at? How can I monetize it? Who can I help? Who did
Yep.
it? Like all these different things come up, and they kind of clutter the clarity, right?
Yes. Clarity clutter. Let's get that out. So I have two different kind of trains of thought there. Number one way to look at it is, if you can't think 50 years out, what is the furthest that makes sense to you? Can you think 10 years out? Can you think 5 years out? Can you think just tomorrow? What do you want tomorrow? Right? If you can't figure out what you want 50 years from now, what is the furthest out that you can actually think of? I can guarantee you know what you want next month.
Yeah.
Right? You know you want your bills paid, you know you want, food on the table, right? We know we want those things. So that I think is kind of a question that we do to not hold ourselves accountable, right? We're like, oh, it's too overwhelming, not going to think about it. Right?
Mhm.
We allow ourselves to, we don't hold ourselves accountable that way. So hold yourself accountable, break that down just into a smaller chunk. And the second thing, I think a lot of that clarity clutter comes from, well, I don't know exactly what I want. A lot of it is we're like thinking about the how are we going to accomplish this, instead of what is that feeling. The vision is that feeling, right? It's that peace of mind. It's that, and everything else is the how. What is that feeling you're looking for? You want to be with your family and be happy. That's a lot of, when I get down to the root of what people want, it's happiness. Everybody's just trying to be happy. All
Yeah.
right. So then we work backwards from there.
Yeah, I think the how is a lot, because I think people, for an example, is, oh, I'm going to get into real estate. Okay, well, how? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to have to go get a license. I have to do this training. I have to do this. I need to have at least like 5 clients lined up so that I can start making money fast. And then like when I'm making the money, then I need to reinvest into this program and that program so that I can make more money later on. And it's like, it just becomes this giant thing, and
Yep.
it's not a giant thing. The how is like very nitty gritty. What are you doing very like on the daily, just to
Yes.
move a little bit forward,
Yep.
just like the teeny tiny baby steps. I think people want to take giant leaps sometimes, right?
Right.
And that's when we say, oh, no, thank you, I can't handle this.
Yep.
Just like setting those New Year's resolutions, right? I'm going to lose 50 pounds. 2 weeks in, nope, never mind.
Nope.
Too much. So I think that's really, really important. And then with the C3, the how is tied into that, because the how is you're actually helping people, right?
Yep.
So when we're diving into that, it was called conversion,
Client-centered conversion.
client-centered conversion. And I
Yep.
think when we think of sales, we don't often think of client-centered conversion. And I know you know this because you were in the industry. We think of a slimy car salesman,
Yes.
right? The guy
Yep.
who's gonna like sell us the lemon, or like, things like that. And I think a lot of people, if when they're offering their offers, it may not feel natural, right? Especially if you're just starting out in business, like you don't have a lot of experience yet, you don't have a lot of testimonials yet, whatever that may be, or you haven't had the program that you're coaching for very long, whatever that is. But rather than, that focus on the dollar sign, maybe your client doesn't really need a whole 12 weeks of coaching. Maybe they just need a 4-week intensive. And then you can go on and like fix the offer for them, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it too, is tailoring to your client.
Yeah, and I think that as a business owner, a lot of us get this backwards, and we create a product and service first, and then we go to the market and try to shove it into the market,
Mhm.
right? Whereas instead, we want to start, because I remember when I created my first course, it was all about conversion. And lo and behold, no one cares about conversion. All they want is new leads, new leads, new leads, right? So whenever I created my product that was about conversion, when nobody actually wants to do that part, it didn't do well. But when I focus on what they want, which they want more sales, right? And they think new leads is the problem. Almost everybody in every business thinks, if I just need more new leads, more new leads. And the stat is 80% of sales are made after the 6th through 12th follow-up.
Mhm.
Right. And I know real estate agents alone, it is less than 90% make it even to the 3rd follow-up. So less than 10% is doing even near what's required. And I guarantee that's the same throughout almost every industry. I don't think real estate has just everybody who doesn't want to follow up with people,
No, it's
right?
absolutely everywhere. Yes. Um,
So
I think the follow-up is something that often gets put on the back burner because we're so focused, again, like you said,
new
the
leads.
new leads.
Yep. They already said no. I need the next one, right? And
Yes,
that thing is that that's not a no, it's a not right now.
yes, yes. And it's also, and it's not personal, right? It's not, I think a lot of people get freaked out when people say no, they take it very personally as if there's something wrong with them and not
Right.
separately as in the offer. The offer is not right. They're saying no to the offer. They're not saying no to you.
Right.
So I think that when you go into, like you said, that focusing on your client versus putting the offer out there, right? Make sure that your offer is actually helping them in the ways that they need their help, right?
Yep.
You always want to give people what they need by giving them what they want, right?
Exactly.
And,
That
and
and that's
I
the
may have
fun
said
part.
that, yeah, I may have said that a little off, but like you're gonna give them, you're gonna give them what they want by giving them what they need.
Exactly. They're going to be wearing a shirt of what they want, and underneath that shirt is actually what they need, right? That's your coaching, that's your content, and the marketing is what they want. Hey, do you want, and really the reason they want more new leads, and that's what we need to look at. What is the reason they want more new leads? Because they want more sales. Hey, do you guys want more sales without more new leads? There's a thing right there, right? How do I do that? What do you mean? I
Right.
don't have to have new leads, right?
Right.
So what are they wanting, and create a solution around that.
Yes, yes. And like on the follow-up thing, following up is not this big daunting task, right? It doesn't have to be a full-blown conversation every time you speak to this person, like really long drawn
Yeah.
out thing. It's literally just checking in on them, going, if you're online, it's going to their social media page, commenting on some stuff, and then sending them a message. Hey, I
Yes.
just wanted to see how you were doing. And that
Yep.
is a follow-up, right?
Yes.
Because you're just
Yes.
making sure that you're still in their circle so that when they are ready for you, they're going to come to you because you're there,
Yep.
right?
Top of mind. Yes. Creating that top of mind awareness, right? We hear that a lot. It's almost a buzzword now, but how are you going to make sure that when they are ready for you, and that's part of the client-centered conversion, is we're not forcing people to do anything, right? We're just making sure that we're in front of them. Now, with that being said, again, when somebody turns you down, let's find out why. That's a great way for you to say, okay, great, this isn't going to work. This way I presented the value does not work. Hey, give me a little bit of feedback. I'm always trying to improve. Can you let me know what the gap is? What would have made you say yes? What would have made it a no-brainer yes? Then they might have said, oh, if this was in person, or oh, this was XYZ. Hey, you know what? For you, let's do that. And then you just figure it out.
Your no's are your best market research opportunities.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think everybody looks at a no as a dead end, nothing to
Oh,
learn
no,
here,
no.
nothing to see here. Oh my God, I can't believe they said no. I'm going to set that over here.
They're
Bring that
gold.
even closer into you and be like, okay, this is an opportunity, right?
Yes.
Look at
Yes.
everything as an opportunity, whether it's learning about yourself, your business, your market, your client, anything, right?
Everything.
And
Yes.
I think people get really nervous about that, and a little, it's a little bit touchy subject, right? Those no's. So embrace the no.
Yes, go for no, right? There's that for go for no, get that rejection. And just going back to your follow-up, I even tell my clients, send a meme. You send a freaking meme. Like it doesn't matter. I almost want you to think about it as social media, right? Like, what are you going to post that day? You can send that to your entire database, right? If you're doing email, send that to your email. You don't have
Yeah.
to be
It
super
doesn't have to,
creative.
yeah, it doesn't have to be this really long process. It's just literally just checking in and
Yeah.
seeing how people are doing. That
Yeah.
shows, it's going to show that you actually care, right? And that, you are in their world when they need you, right?
Yeah.
Because they will need you eventually.
They will.
It always comes full circle. They will always be needing you at some point. So just be ready, right?
Yep. Just be ready.
And so when we're doing a business plan, I know for me, making a business plan was so stressful because it was really overwhelming.
Mhm.
Um, so let's talk about the business plan and the how of the business plan.
Yeah, and I vibe with you because I used to think, oh, business plan, I'm not smart enough to do that. I can't put one of those together.
That was me.
And one day, I saw somebody do it and I was like, that's a business plan. I mean, a business plan is literally anything you want it to be. Essentially, you don't have to have this 50-page. I was thinking, it's supposed to be some big thing that
I
has
thought
to
it
have
was
a
a
presentation.
book. I literally thought it was a book about like my mission and my vision and like all of my stats and like all of
Yes,
my reviews and all of
yes.
this and all that. And it's not. Don't
No,
make it into
don't
a 50-page book. It's not.
at all. No, 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 no. I like to work backwards. Again, I like to start with that vision, right? Where do you want to end up? And let's work backwards from there. And I actually have how I walk people through this whole 360 clarity session where we are walking through the vision. Like, what do you want your life to look like? And again, if you don't know what it is 50 years from now, let's start with tomorrow. All right. What do you want tomorrow to look like? And let's get it out there. And going deeper than that, I found something crazy hope within the last couple of years here is that a lot of people they have goals that they have no idea. There's no basis for their goals. Like a lot of real estate agents want to make 100K. I want to make 100K this year. I'm like, why? Well, because I want financial freedom. Like, why is 100K? What are you going to do with 100K? They haven't constructed that yet. And that's one reason we have this like roller coaster income is that there's no reason to keep our money. If there's no reason to actually like create something, we're not going to. We're going to go spend it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly, think about the people like right now, there's people watching this, they're working 9 to 5. They know exactly every week what their paycheck is going to be. And they work for it all week because they know they're going to pay this, and this on
Yep.
Friday as soon as that hits the bank, right? That is that's their goal,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
it seems really silly, but it comes down to like very granular basic stuff. If your goal is like live this lavish lifestyle, okay, fine, but what does that actually look like and
Yes.
why?
And why?
Why do you want to live a lavish lifestyle? Oh, because I want freedom, I want more time, I want more whatever. Okay, wait, stop right there. You don't want a lavish lifestyle, you want time and
Yes.
financial freedom.
Yep.
So you can break it down into very easy little tiny granular stuff, right?
I love it.
And I think people have a hard time like I watch so many people in the online space and they're like set these really big hairy audacious goals, and like we set these really big goals and again they seem unattainable, they seem just really unrealistic. And as we're going through and trying to build the business and trying to make all this money to get us to this really big goal that we set, it's draining. It doesn't, it's not fun anymore. It becomes like a job. And like we're all doing our own businesses because we want to feel like we're not working. We want to have
Right.
fun, right? Um, and I think when you're doing your business plan and you have this goal, break it down. Like some people do quarters, right? And like they set a quarterly goal and then like even further down and do a weekly goal. Is that something that you suggest that we do?
Yes, and I even focus more on systems versus goals because the goal, like for my real estate agents, they can't control how many people are going to buy. They can't, right?
Right.
What we can control, how many people we talk to on a daily basis. I can control how many people that I go out there and I talk to on a daily basis. That is within my control. It is within my control to go out there on social media and friend 5 people, send them a DM and wish them a great day today. It is within my control to create a YouTube video, to provide value, to provide lead engagement, to provide education for the community, right? That is all within my control. And so if I know that I create a system, and this is part of the exponential profits blueprint, is creating that system for success. What are those daily, weekly, monthly habits you need to do day in and day out? I don't care about the goal because I know that goal is going to get there as long as I do what's necessary, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think sometimes those goals can be distracted because, like you said, sometimes we set goals and we don't meet them. And then we stop because we didn't meet these goals. I'm like, well, your level of effort, you didn't calibrate, right? That's calibrating.
Right.
Here's
Yeah.
the goal. Here's this level of effort. This is what I got. Okay. Hey, next week, got to 10x that. Hey, you got to do this. You got to, how are you going to improve that? Because
Yes.
most people take that missing as a goal as a failure. I'm like, stop focusing on that goal. Focus on your actions day in and day out. It will take you to your goal.
Yes. And let's have a little dose of reality within this too. Like you're not going to make $100,000 in your first year of business. Okay. Like
You
you're
can
not,
actually
well,
in
you
real estate
can, you can
with a plan and
with,
action.
yes. And a lot of times I think many of us are starting our jobs and we have other jobs, right? We have part-time jobs or full-time jobs that we go to. We have family, we have kids, we have stuff like that's going on. But like if you're hitting 100K, amazing. But if you're on my level, I'm going to tell you right now, just to be perfectly clear, full disclosure, I'm not making $100,000. But what I am doing is every week I am doing little tiny things that are
Yep.
going to get me, maybe not this quarter, maybe not next quarter, but all those little habits and all those daily things are going to lead up to bigger money, right?
Exactly.
And putting a time limit on yourself is good, because it is part of making a smart goal, right? Giving yourself a time frame. But if you get too caught up, like you said, if you get too caught up in that goal and in that time frame, you're just stressing yourself out. Like,
Right.
like you said, circling all the way back, like what do you want in a month? What do you want in 2 months, 3 months? And like then that big picture.
Yep.
Um, and I want to tell people not to get discouraged. When you're starting something new, don't forget you don't know what you don't know, right? So it's going to be a learning process. It's like every day you're going to learn something totally new that you didn't know. It's
Yes.
going to blow your mind.
Yep.
But if you're really loving what you're doing, it's not going to feel like this daunting, really terrible task. And if you're genuinely helping people and like making awesome connections and finding your business besties and like doing all this stuff, it's going to feel like a fun side project for you, right? And like
Agreed.
eventually it will create that financial freedom. But you just have to do the little tiny steps every day. And yeah, I just think that I feel like sometimes we get into business and we're like, I am nowhere near 100K. Well, you could be. So let's look at it a different light, right?
Yeah, and I think it comes down to the questions that we ask ourselves, like, oh, why am I not at 100K yet? Well, how can I get to 100K?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do differently to get me to 100K? Because any goal is possible. Like, how can it not be?
Right.
You know what I mean? They're just because somebody hasn't done it yet, people are always doing new things. And I think that is the reason that, setting a big goal is why some people are do well with setting those larger goals is because it forces your brain to think, okay, instead of getting 4 deals this month, I know what I need to do in order to get 4 deals. What if I had to get 40 deals? What would I have to do? I would have to run email campaigns. I would need to do this. I would need to do this because your brain's never had to ask that question before. You haven't allowed it to.
Yeah. And a lot of entrepreneurs, why they become so successful is they're asking questions that people aren't asking. The what if,
100%.
the why, the how could I multiply this by 10? Like how can I reach 15 more people today? Like
Yep.
how can I get 100 new emails this week? Like
Yep.
they're asking little questions like that and then digging in to get those answers. They're
Yeah.
doing their market research, they're staying active, they're surrounding themselves with the right people that are going to keep them going, keep the momentum. There's a whole list of things. But if you're sitting at home and you're like, I'm on square one, like I am on level 0, that's fine. Where do you want to be tomorrow?
Where do
Right?
you want to be? Yep.
You want to be tomorrow. And yeah, so for people at home that are thinking about real estate, what would you say to them? Oh, and what kind of advice would you give them? Where should they go first? Like what should they do?
I would say, first of all, take a big, deep breath. With any big decision, let's always take a big, deep breath and understand that after that, it's go time, right? The first thing that I would do once you are licensed is I would find a mentor. I would start finding a mentor right now. Start watching a couple of people and then find who you vibe with and stick with that one person, because multiple different people have different styles. And if you keep hopping around to different coach, to different coach, to different mentor, you'll keep doing their different strategies and nothing will ever work for you. So do some hopping around now and find who you like and just close your eyes and keep putting one front foot in front of the other until when you open your eyes, your vision is finally there.
Yes. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, and and that applies to things other than real estate too. Finding a
Absolutely.
mentor is
Yes.
huge. Finding people
Yes.
that you look up to. Like my business mentor, I saw her online a few times and I was like, I want what she has. So then like I put myself in her circle. I joined her group, right? And then I
Yep.
started interacting in her group to see like how active she was. I was like, oh, she's very cool. And then I watched her lives and I was like, her energy is just like mine. And then I just sent her a DM and I was like, how can I work with you?
Yep.
And it's really that easy. And if you are a coach on the opposite end of that, those are the things that how you can get somebody to DM you and be like, how can I work with you? Show
Yep.
up in the space, be authentic, show your energy, give the value, because there's people watching you all the time,
Yep.
right? Especially
Yes.
in this online world. And not to be like weird or creepy or anything, but you're there, you're visible, right?
Yep.
um so yes, so find a mentor no matter what business you're in.
Yes.
If you're in real estate and you have this idea that all it is just like driving around to houses and showing people houses that you get handed to you, I do want to tell you it's not quite just that. And Erica knows the best out of all of us. It is not just that. But it is a really great industry, and the industry is growing. Like everybody gets really worried about the housing market and this and that. There is money to be made literally in every industry. Everybody
Yeah.
says, oh, it's saturated. Oh, it's whatever it may be.
No.
There is no industry on earth that is saturated. There are what 5.9 billion people like just in like one area of the world. So there's things out there, right? There's things to
Yes.
do. So don't stress about that. If you have a vision, if you have a mission, get to work, right?
Absolutely.
Get to work.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Erica, thank you so much for coming on. You have been amazing. You have such great value. I love this blueprint. I want to apply this to my life.
Yes, please.
Um, you guys can reach Erica. She is the CEO of Purple Elephants. If you want to work with her, you can reach out to her. All of her links are here at the bottom. Thank you guys for watching. And Erica, thank you again. This has been
Thank
so much
you.
fun.
Yes, I really appreciate what you're doing, and it's just awesome to meet similar and like-minded individuals. So thank you, Hope.
Yes, ma'am. All right, you guys. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you on the next
Bye.
one.